Mic check 1, mic check 2. If you are watching this live stream back on the replay, take advantage of the chapters and skip ahead to the start of the show. I'm still setting up and giving people some time to tune in. Guys, I hope you had an awesome weekend. We are here. We're working on a few things. Tonight's show is going to be fast because we had a couple of things that played out in our favor this week to make it a fast show. So I'm happy about it. So let's hurry up and get a few things we need to get done so we can get started a little bit after 9. Of course, you already know it was a couple of things going on that made it where we weren't on time. So let me get my glasses clean. Let's get the Social Stream Ninja launched. And we're probably looking at like 9:05, guys. That's what we're looking at. We're probably looking at about 9:05. Maybe sooner, but at least 9:05. Let's see what we're looking at now. A lot better. All right, now let's launch Social Stream Ninja. We got that going. Test message. This thing say it's an error for everything. Let me cut this one off. Let me launch this one more time, guys, because it's okay. I didn't get a notification. We'll see if it's working. We'll see if it's working. We got it launched. If I don't get nobody messages, then I know it ain't working. Okay, now let's get this stream shared over on Facebook. And then we can go ahead and start the show, guys. Let's go. Cut this other mouse on. That's not the right account, so switch over to this one. Make sure OBS is up so I can see what's going on the control panel. Good. All right, let's share this stream. We're over there. Here we go. Let's cut this off because this is gonna be going off all throughout the live stream. Power off. All right, that's done. Now let's share the stream. We are live. Got it. Waiting for the confirmation. Okay, and we just got it, guys. We just got the confirmation, so we're good over there. So let's go ahead and get the charts pulled up. We got that. We're good. All right, guys, we can go ahead and start the live stream. So it's going to be before 9:05 because we're good. We can go ahead and do that now. I didn't get a chance to proofread this, so please, Lord, let everything be all right. Let's go ahead and get it going. Let's get it going. All right, here we go. All right. Welcome to Weekly Recap Live. I'm your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God, guys, it is Sunday. It is Sunday, and tonight we're going to take a look at Salesforce Incorporated, ticker CRM, and PayPal Holdings Incorporated, ticker PYPL, which were our biggest gainers and losers in the S&P 500 from our market recap lives this week. We're going to review their sectors, industries, sub-industries, and the performance of their peers to look for opportunities in the market. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, FB for Facebook, and an X for X. While you you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get to it. Let's get to it. So our market recap live biggest gainer. So let's go ahead and pull them up on the charts. And I got a couple of things I got to set up. So let's go ahead and do that. So pro market closed, go here, go there. So you guys can see what's going on. So right here in the symbol box, we need to put in CRM because we're covering the biggest gainer first. And there's the ticker for it. Take light down. We are good. Ooh, okay. Okay. Now let's read this. Let's get this going. So Salesforce Incorporated, ticker CRM, was our biggest gainer on Thursday, August 27th, finishing that day up 22.58%. I have a link for that video down in the description if you want to watch our analysis, okay? So, you know, the weekly recap live, we're just briefly going over some data and some stats about what happened this week. So let's go over that really quickly on the chart. So we have Salesforce pulled up on the charts. Absolutely. And we are looking at a 1-year daily chart. Salesforce has a 52-week high of $269.11 and a 52-week low of $146.32, and it closed the week at $256 even. $256. I'm so used to saying cents, that's why it sounded a little crazy when I finished it, but that's that. So that's our stats with Salesforce. All right, now let's pull up our notes and start updating those. So give me a second. I'll bring those over so you can see it. Bam. We don't need this ribbon showing, so show tabs only. And we're going to update this right here, guys, where it says Sunday day gainer. Okay. And we can take those drawings off. We don't need those right now. All right. So CRM, 1-day percentage change. Okay, so let me show you where we're gonna go to get all of that. So let me just put me on the screen while I get this set up. That's good. So go over here, minimize this, go here, GNL. All right, delete. All right. Let me bring you guys over and we're going to go ahead and do this. So here we go. Bam, bam. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go up to the Market Watch tab. Then we're going to go to the Quotes sub tab. And I have Gainers and Losers watch list pulled up. That's our GNL. So right here where it says symbol, we're going to put in CRM. I already have our columns programmed. So the data we need, guys, is going to be right here. Largest percentage change in a day. And our 1 week percentage change. So we can put that data in our notes right here. So remember, I don't know if you remember from last week, but I will explain. So this looks back over the most recent 5 days. Day two is Thursday. So if this said day 1, it would be Friday. Wednesday would be day 3, et cetera, et cetera. So we know that the biggest percentage change they had, whether that was to the upside or to the downside, this week was on Thursday, which we already talked about. So let's start updating our notes with that percentage change. So that's 22.58%. So we got that. Also, we want to put the 1 week percentage change in there, which is right next to it. So on the week, they finished up 22.39%. Got it. Salesforce did. Now we're going to update the sector, industry, and sub-industry that Salesforce is inside of. So the way we do that, we go over to the Visualize tab. And right over here to the left, let me take me off the screen. We're going to pull up those watch lists, that watch list. So it's right here, G&L. So they're in the information technology sector. So let's pull up our notes and go ahead and put that in there. Notes right here, information technology. Now we want the industry. So right over here under G&L, we can do it this way. Just click on it. So they are in the software industry. So let's put that on here. Industry, software. Cool. Now, what's the sub industry? Click it again. Application software. Notes. Sub industry, application software. Cool, guys, we're done. So we have our information in our notes updated about our biggest gainer with the largest percentage change during the week. Not for the week, but during the week. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. We did our notes, we did the watch list, we did the okay, we did all that. All right, now let's pull up our market recap live biggest loser of the week, okay? So let's go back to the charts. All right, guys, the biggest loser for this week, I'll pull their ticker up now, was PayPal. So let's go ahead and put that ticker in, PYPL, and let's talk about it. And guys, please like the content and consider subscribing to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated, and it helps grow the community, and it means a lot to me and the algorithm for YouTube, okay? It matters. All right, so let's keep it moving. All right, so PayPal Holdings Incorporated, ticker PYPL, was our biggest loser on Friday, August 28th, finishing that day down 12.71%. I have a link for that video down in the description if you want to watch our analysis, all right? So let's briefly go over the chart. Already confirmed, we pull up PayPal. In the symbol box, we do have the 1 year daily chart pulled up. So PayPal has a 52-week high of $79.22 and a 52-week low of $38.46. And they closed the week at $53.66. So that's what we have going on with PayPal. Now, what we need to do, we need to go ahead and pull up our notes and update our notes for PayPal. So here are our notes. Bam. Now we're going to put in the information. So we got ticker PYPL. Cool. For largest percentage change in a day. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back. We're going to update our watch list. So we go to market watch, then we go to quotes sub tab. And right here, we're going to type in PYPL. There we go. So day one is going to be Friday, which we just talked about. So the largest percentage change they had was on Friday. As far as like during the week, they lost that 12.71% day one, and it's red. So it's color coded. So right there, we put down 12.71%. That was the 1 day change. Now, as far as the week, the percentage change for the week is right next to it. They finished the week down 12.82%. All right, now what sector are they in and all that other good stuff, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to go back to our visualize tab, and we're going to start over from G and L because that's the watch list we have pulled up. So now we can see we have PayPal. Now PayPal is in the financials sector. We can see that right here on the right hand side of the screen. So let's go ahead and update our notes. So we have financials. Now we need to see what industry and sub industry. I need to do this. Here we go. Give me a second. Bam, bam. Here we go. So they're in the financial services industry. So let's update that. Financial services. And as far as the sub industry, they are in transaction and payment processing services. So let's open up our notes and put that transaction. Good. So we have that. All right, guys, we have our notes updated. Looking at that for the week. Our percentage changes with the companies throughout the week. We talked about that. Now let's move on. Let's talk about this. All right, we did that. We updated our notes. Let's go here. Bam, bam. Take that down. Take this down, go to like. All right, so the S&P 500 biggest gainer and loser of the week. So we just covered the companies that had the biggest percentage change in a day. Now let's look at the S&P 500 watch list to check to see what companies had the largest percentage gain and loss in this week. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the charts. Bam, bam, and yeah, we can leave that up for right now. So what we're doing, we're going to Market Watch tab, and then we go to the quotes sub tab, and we need to change this watch list to the S&P 500 watch list. Take me off the screen so you can see it. So public R through W, then we go down to S&P 500. There we go. So what we're going to do, we're going to change this column right here where it says 1 week percentage change, and we're going to put it in descending order so we can get the largest percentage change as far as a gain for this week. There it is, guys. So the company that had the largest percentage gain for the week is, or was, however you want to look at it, Salesforce, guys. So not only did they have the largest percentage change in a day this week, they had the largest percentage change for the whole week. So let's update our notes. And this is going to be easy because we already grabbed everything we needed. Okay, so that's going to be right here. What we can actually do, we can just copy everything. So just go from left to right, copy. We need to update that to, we're going to have to change that back. So I need to change this right here back to week. That's it. There we go. And that's it. All right, so we have it. We only have to do, now we need to see who the biggest loser was. So we already looked at the chart. So this is why today's show is going to be faster, guys. Normally we look up the company, we find it, we say, okay, this company did, and then we go and look at the chart. But since we already looked at them, this is why I said tonight's show going to be a little bit faster. All right. So we pulled up the watch list. We looked at the percentage change. We don't have to look at the charts. We already updated our notes. All right. So now let's look at the percentage loss, the largest percentage loss on the week. All right. So here we go. Now we just put it in ascending order. And guys, wouldn't you know it, it's PayPal. So we already have that data too. So let's go ahead and pull up our notes and update those as well. So yeah, right here, Sunday PayPal loser. So they were the ones that had the biggest percentage loss for the entire week as far as companies inside the S&P 500 index, guys. So that's what we have there. We just pasted it. We just need to change this back to week and we're good. So we have our notes updated, at least with the companies with the percentage changes this week. All right. So we're good there. Now let's go here and let's talk about this. Take that down. All right. Market research. Now we're about to use the Fear and Greed Index and the VIX to potentially find clues in the data about why these sectors, industries, sub-industries, and businesses perform the way they did. Let's start with market sentiment. First, let's look at the mood of the market using the Fear and Greed Index brought to us by CNN. All right, I'm pulling it up, guys. I'm pulling it up. All right, here we go. Let me bring you over. So there we go. Take me off the screen. All right, guys. So we are looking at the Fear and Greed Index brought to us by CNN, which I talked about. Now, it's not going to give us the average for the week. This is the data for Friday only. All right. So Friday, we closed at 54 or came in on the Fear and Greed Index at 54 on Friday. If you go here and you want historical data, we go right here to where it says timeline. When we click on that, now we can go back in time on this graph and get different dates. So that would be Thursday, the 27th, the 26th would be Wednesday, et cetera, et cetera. Got it? Hope you do. All right, that's how we do that. Now, let me go ahead and pull our notes up and put me back on the screen. So let's put me back on the screen. Let me pull up our notes. And here we go. So right down here at the bottom of our notes, we have F and G, Fear and Greed, and VIX. So when I go ahead and select that, I've already got our data for this week. So that's Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Right over here, guys, this is where you're going to see the average for this week. This is where we're going to see the average. It won't let me do it. Will it? Nope, it won't let me do it. All right, but right here, guys, where it says 56.2, that's going to be the average. So I'm calculating that myself. And that's going to be Friday through Monday's average. So we finished the week on average in greed. So that's what we have for that. And those are the specific numbers right here. 55 on Monday, 59 on Tuesday, et cetera, et cetera. So you can see all of that data right there. So that's what we have for the fear and greed, market sentiment, and all that other good stuff. So let's go ahead and keep it moving. And let's go here. Now, market volatility. Next, let's look at the expected annual percentage range and uncertainty and volatility in the market using the VIX index brought to us by CBOE. All right, so now we can pull up the charts for that one. So let's go here, here, and I have a ticker for that. Cool. So what we're doing, we're going back to the charts. And when we go to the charts right over here in the symbol box, let's type in VIX. VIX. All right. So we are looking at a 1 year daily chart. Remember, the VIX is giving us a percentage. So they have a 52-week low of 13.38%, 52-week high of 35.3%, and they closed the week at 14.43%. And now that I think about it, I don't have a weekly average on our notes, so maybe I should add that. But let's go ahead and pull our notes up so we can see what we have for the week. I don't think I did that. Yeah, we don't have a VIX average, but we do have that data all through the week right here. So we got Monday through Friday, and I documented and noted our VIX. So Friday was the lowest the VIX has been all that previous week. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do it right now. Just like we have a fear and greed index average, I'm going to make sure we have a VIX average. So when we do our weekly recap lives, we can do that. Okay. I can quickly give you that right now. Because I know how to make this code. So it's going to be equal AVG open. And then we just grab these and then we close it out. We found a typo in your formula and tried to correct it. Average equal. Yeah, I needed to spell it all the way out. That was all. So that's the average, guys, for the VIX for the week. And then I just go in there and I change it. Go home. And then we change it to where it's giving us the $, even though we know it's a percentage. So we go to currency. There we go. And we take this, copy, paste, bam. And then we put VIX average. I'm going to clean it up. I just knew that it would be quick to do. So I went ahead and did it so you guys can have it. All right. So that's the VIX average, and just ignore this error. Okay. So that's our average for the week on the VIX, guys. Let's do this too. Let's just bring that up. So we push delete, shift cells up. Let's put the grid around it, all borders. There we go, guys. So the average for the VIX for this week was 15.09%. Boom, you got it. All right. So we did that. That was quick. Boom, boom, boom. We got our notes updated. All good. Now let's go ahead and keep it moving. Let's go back here. Take that down. Go here. Bam, bam. All right, guys, we're good. Now, community support. Back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description, as well as on the ticker on the screen as well. Yeah, I talked about that. And it takes $10 to become the first sponsor of tonight's show. All right. Now let's move on. And guys, if you send a Cash App or a PayPal and I don't get the notification because sometimes I'm a one-man band, just shoot me a chat and say, hey, check your Cash App or check the PayPal, and then we'll update it. Okay. So we have that. All right. Sector performance tracker, guys. Time to follow the money. Let's look at each sector inside the S&P 500 index to see how they are performing by using the State Street Global Advisor ETFs. All right. So let's go back to the chart. So we go here, 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 take that down, and we are looking at the sector performance. So guys, we're going to change our grid right over here. Sector performance, bam. And right now it's on day. We need to change it to the week. So here's our percentage changes for the week. And I need to change this decimal to 2 decimal places. So we're going to change it to round set 2. Click apply. OK. We're going to go back and I'm going to save this grid that way so this will not be an issue again. So I click here, save grid as sector performance so you can see what's going on. Bam. Yes. So now every time we open it and we go to a week, I won't have to change it to the second decimal place. All right. So now we're about to look over the week and see how these sectors finish the week, including the SPY. So the SPY finished the week up 0.47%. Energy down 1.51%. Materials down 0.67%. Industrials down 1.73%. Consumer discretionary down 0.69%. Consumer staples down 0.63%. Healthcare down 1.98%. Financials finished the week up 1.08%. Information technology finished the week up 1.3%. Communication services up 1.43%. Utilities down 0.09%. And real estate finished the week down 1.33%. All right, now let's update our notes, which I already did. So we're just going to go over them together. There's a couple ways we can do this. So first, let's pull up our notes. And let me see where we are. So right here at the bottom, guys, I'm gonna show you where we at right here. Bam. So those are our top 3 gainers and our top 3 losers. I'm also going to expand our watch list over here to the left. So it's in descending order, guys. Our top 3 gainers are right here at the top as well. So you can follow along either way how you want to do it. There's a way I want to do it, but the thing is all the way at the top. So let me see how we can do this. Let me expand this and then we can focus on one at a time. That doesn't have it. Give me a second, guys. Just adjusting it so we can see it. Okay, cool. That's good enough. All right. So our number 1 gainer, focus on the bottom, guys, right down here. Our number 1 gainer on the week as far as sectors, guys, put both, is communication services. So it's highlighted right down here. Our number 1 gainer on the week. Our number 2 gainer is information technology. Let me finish saying what I'm saying. And we don't need to highlight this. We'll be playing around with this all day. We're just going to go down to the list over here, guys. I want to make this fast. This will slow us down. This is a headache. As far as right now, it's nice to have, but we don't need to go through that right now. We can do it this way. We can just highlight it that way or just go over here. It'll be a lot faster. So our number 1 gainer as far as sectors this week, guys, communication services, finishing the week up 1.43%. Our second gainer for the week, information technology, finishing the week up 1.3%. Our third largest gainer for the week for our sectors is financials, finishing the week up 1.08%. Our 3 top losers, our number 1 loser on the week was healthcare. They lost 1.98% on the week. Our number 2 loser, industrials, finishing the week down 1.73%. And last but not least, our third largest loser on the week was energy, and they finished the week down 1.51%. So that's what we have for our sectors. We looked at some companies for the week and all that other good stuff, and they happen to be the same 2 companies. So that was Salesforce and PayPal, but we about to review and go over all of that. All right, guys, so we're done with this part of the show. So let's keep it moving. Let's go here. Take that down. We don't need to spot. We just finished that. All right, go back to like. All right, S&P 500 sector watch list. Now we're going to look at what we're going to do. We're about to look at the percentage change for 3 more time frames, okay? The 1 month, the 3 month, and the 6 month to get a broader view of each sector's performance in the S&P 500. So let's go back to the charts. Bam, bam. Yeah. All right. So let's take our notes down, collapse this, go back to pro market close. Then we go up to market watch. Then we go to quote sub tab. and we said, okay, I know what we're doing. We're changing this to our State Street ETFs watch list. So that's going to be down here, personal State Street ETFs. Bam, that's what we need. Now we need to change these columns. Put me back on the screen. Change the columns to money tracker. Got it. Okay, guys, now we already know our largest percentage changes for the week. So now let's focus on our largest percentage changes for the month as far as the sectors. All right. So our biggest gainer on the month right now, guys, is energy. And right now on the month, they're up 6.31%. Our largest loser for a 1 month time frame as far as sectors are utilities. And they're down 4.32% on the month, the most recent month time frame. All right, now let's go to our 3 month. Our largest gainer, healthcare, guys. So on a 3 month time frame, they're up 14.51%. Largest loser on the 3 month time frame are utilities. They're down 3.8%. Now on our 6 month time frame, largest gainer, guys, we're still looking at information technology. They're up 33.82% on the 6 month time frame. Our largest loser on the 6 month time frame, guys, are utilities. So they're down 10.48% on a 6 month time frame. Not too bad. We did that pretty quick. So we went through that. Now let's keep this show moving. All right, now let's talk about strategies and goals. Now that we've looked at what's going on in the market, the sectors, industries, sub-industries, all of this means nothing. And I do mean nothing if someone doesn't have a strategy and knows what their goals are. For example, someone who wants to buy and hold long-term, what they see as an opportunity is going to be totally different from what someone who's swing trading and looking to profit from declines in the market will see as an opportunity. So we're not covering strategies and goals. I'm sharing how to do the work to look for opportunities that aligns with a strategy and goal. Okay. All right. So ETFs and companies, guys, based off our research that we did, looking at our biggest gainers and losers in a day and on the week from our market recap live streams, the biggest percentage change in a day were, I need a second because we got something going on over here. Okay. Were Salesforce Incorporated, ticker CRM, in the information technology sector, finishing the week up. So I can pull this up while we talk about this. Let's do this. GNL personal, GNL, bring this over. Yep, so you can see it. Bam, bam. Let's do this here. Salesforce Incorporated, ticker CRM, in the information technology sector, finished the day up on Thursday, up 22.58%. So we have that right here when I fix the columns. Right here. Bam. 12 point, where are we at? Right here, 22.58%, right, on Thursday. So that would be day 2. So that information is right there. Now, and PayPal Holdings Incorporated, ticker PYPL, down 23.55% on Thursday. So that's going to be right here. Wait a minute, guys. That wasn't Thursday. That was Friday. They finished the day down, and that was not 23.55%. Moving too fast when I did the script. It's 12.71%. So I'm glad I caught it. It's all right here, guys. So this part of the section is wrong. So let me repeat that. And PayPal Holdings Incorporated, ticker PYPL, finished down on a Friday, but down on Friday, 12.71%. We have that right here. So that were our biggest loser within the week on Friday, down, finishing that day down 12.71%. So we have that. All right, now let's see what else we got. Now, the companies that had the biggest percentage change this week in the S&P 500 are also Salesforce Incorporated, ticker CRM, finishing the week up 22.39%. So we have that right here. Now, and PayPal Holdings Incorporated, ticker PYPL, finishing the week down. Now that part's right. Finishing the week down 12.82%. So that's what we have. Now the sectors with the biggest percentage change for the week. So we'll pull those back up while we talk about that. Okay. The sectors with the biggest percentage change for this week are communication services finishing the week up 1.43%, and healthcare down 1.98%, right down here. Okay. So we have that information. All right. Now, finally, let's talk about upcoming earnings, guys. Upcoming earnings. So let's go ahead and go over here to the calendar. Yeah. All right. Now that we're at the calendar, we can take this down. We can take that down, go here. And I wish I had updated. I was moving too fast. But anyway, we're good. So we're over here on the calendars. And guys, we're going to pull up. Let me walk you through this because I'm moving too fast. Right up here where it says change filter, we're going to change this to the S&P 500 watch list. So guys, these are all of the scheduled earnings for the month of August 2026. We're going to go through this and we're going to break this down, but let me read this first. Okay, so finally, let's go over to the Thinkorswim calendar to check for companies that have earnings coming up this week. These companies should be experiencing high implied volatility because they're expecting moves due to their earnings events. Let's see what big names we can find. All right. So guys, there are no S&P 500 earnings being announced on Monday. We have 3 companies on Tuesday, 4 companies on Wednesday, and 3 companies on Thursday. So let's go ahead and start working through these. Let me check something real quick. Let me pull myself up on the calendar on the screen while I fix this. Let me check to see what we have here. All right, personal watch list earnings upcoming. Yeah, I already got companies in here. Let me clear this out. Delete. Nope, that didn't work that way. Delete. Okay, cool. All right, so now our watch list is blank. That's what I needed to do. All right, so now we can go back to the calendar and let's start adding these companies to our watch list. And we're going to randomly do these. So let's say Dell. So we're going to add those. So what I did, I right clicked on it and now I'm going to put add a Dell to watch list. Watch list that I'm using is earnings upcoming. And guys, if you're curious about how to create watch lists, I believe I have a link down in the description that walks you through how to do that. Okay, so that saves us time on the live stream of not walking you through it because I already have a separate video for people that need that. All right, so we're going to add these companies to earnings upcoming. So we're adding Dell, we're adding PAN, ticker PANW, add to watch list earnings upcoming. Now, if you left click on it, it'll give you more information about the company. So I do want to tell you that. So there's the ticker and there's the official company name. Palo Alto Networks Incorporated. All right. So now we're going to Wednesday. So we click on Wednesday. I'm right clicking, add to earnings upcoming. That was Berkshire Hathaway. I'm doing Broadcom, ticker AVGO, HPE, and NetApp. Let me double check that. Isn't it NetApp? Yeah, NetApp, not NetApp, not NetApp. It's NetApp, NetApp Incorporated. And then we go to Thursday. Sienna Corporation. We're going to add that one. So let's do that. Sienna, earnings upcoming. Got it. All right. So now once we've created our watch list, what we can do, we go to quotes. We go to market watch tab, then we go to the quote sub tab and pull that watch list up, earnings upcoming. And we already had the companies here. So here are our upcoming earnings companies. They're all in the information technology sector. So now we go back to the calendar. And when we go back to the calendar, now we're going to change the filter to that watch list that we updated. And now we just have the companies we focused on for the week, guys. So that's how we do that. All right. So we went through the calendar. Now let's see what we got going on here. Let's go here. All right, guys, that about wraps it up. So let me show you what companies we're actually going to cover this week on this channel. All right. On the channel. So let me pull up the YouTube channel. We're about to get ready to wrap it up. All right. So channel. We just got a chat. Appreciate the chat. Let me pull this up. Give me 1 second. I heard you. Sanight Bella, thank you for tuning in on the chat. Let me take this down and pull you up. Good evening. Big earnings movers are Dell, PNW, and Broadcom. Absolutely. Now, what I mean by it, I don't know what you mean, but I hear you. Those are big names that people are looking for. But what I'm hearing or what I'm thinking about when you say big movers, I'm thinking about the market caps. So actually, I'm glad that you said that. So let me bring that up. Let me bring that up on the charts. Let me do that. Actually, we'll do that on the segment at the end of the show when we do the community discussion. Let me finish telling appreciate the chat, but I'm glad you said that because I want to show people the market caps. So let me go ahead and pull up the channel to show you guys who we're covering this week. So we're covering Palo Alto Networks pre-earnings on Monday, because remember, there's no earnings being announced on Monday in the S&P 500. So we're actually going to cover them on Monday. And let me go back to double check. And they're actually announcing on Tuesday. Okay, so we have that. We're covering Dell on Tuesday. We're covering Broadcom on Wednesday, Ciena on Thursday, and then we're doing a post earnings for Hewlett Packard on Friday, because they actually announced, let's double check, they actually announced their earnings on Wednesday. So we're going to talk about it afterwards on Friday, guys. So that's what we have going on for the upcoming shows of this week. And of course, we're going to do our buys and sales like we're doing tonight. Now, let's follow up with, appreciate you. I'm glad you're looking forward to it tonight, Bella. I'm glad. So that's how we doing that. Now, let's talk about the market caps, like what you shared about the big earnings, because those, it's a few things with it. So we can do this a different way. We can do this a couple different ways. Let me slow down. So one of the things, let's pull the charts back up and let's discuss the weights in the S&P 500. So let's go to the Analyze tab, and right in here, we're going to put in SPY. So when she said those are big movers, those are big companies we're looking at. Let me take me off the screen. When we look here at the weights in the S&P 500, first of all, information technology is a big deal when it comes to the S&P 500 as far as weights. It accounts for 37.99% of the S&P 500. Okay. And then we talked about those companies. So Broadcom is number 6. And that's one of the companies that has announcements on what has earnings that we talked about. Then we talked about, well, we know Berkshire Hathaway, even though we didn't select that one. And let me hide this and we can go back to the calendar and we can look at this together. So let me hide this momentarily. Then we're going to go back over to the calendar. So we go to the Market Watch tab and we got the calendar sub tab. We're going to pull that whole S&P 500 back up. Okay, so the way we do that, we go here, whole S&P 500, and then we hide this again. Okay. So we had Intab, Ciena. I didn't see those at the top, but Dell, Pan Am. Yeah. Okay. So now let's go back to Analyze. And we can scroll through here. So we have Pan W. I don't see these at the top. So let's take that off the screen. Show more. But yeah, people are really interested in these companies for 2 reasons. 1, because they're in the information technology sector. And then 2, they have large market caps. That's what it was. So let's go ahead and look at the market caps. So one way for us to do that, let me take the chat down. Appreciate you for being here. I love it when you're here. I appreciate it. So take the chat down. And now we go over here to the Market Watch tab. So when we go to Market Watch tab, go to quote sub tab, guys, right here under market cap. We just put this in descending order. So this is how I try to look at it. The most important companies, when it comes to these earnings, look at the market caps. That's how I do it. If it's another way, let me know in the chat. But the way I do it, I look at the largest market caps. The larger the market cap, the bigger the deal to earnings. That's how I look at it. So you got Broadcom right there at the top. And notice Broadcom was also right there at the top when we looked at the SPY weights right there at the top is right here at 6. And that also has to do with their weight and their market cap. So that's one way that I've used to try to determine whether or not that company's earnings is going to be a big deal or not based off the market cap. So based off what we just said, NVIDIA, I believe, has the largest market cap in the market right now. So anytime, and they just had earnings on Wednesday last week. So that's a big deal. NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. So the top weighted companies in the S&P 500, or just look at the company's market cap. Okay. So that's how we do that. And thank you so much for sharing that with the community tonight, Bella. Always a pleasure to have you here. Let's go ahead and wrap up the show. And by the way, also, thank you for following me over at Facebook. I seen that. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that as well. So we take the sponsorship down. We got the like, put this up here. Guys, hit that like button. It helps out tremendously, and consider subscribing to the channel. We got to get these subscribers up. The channel is growing. YouTube is pushing the content. We just need to get some more subscribers and get some more likes. Share the content. It helps out tremendously, tremendously. All right. So you already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'll be here same place, same time next week. And make sure you keep tuning in weekdays following the market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern time. Take care and God bless.